Hey everybody, Kane here, and welcome to another video of Art of Conquest. So, in this one, we have patch notes. So, I didn't cover them for quite a while. I was either usually busy or there was a frequently asked questions one in here that was like 3 or 4 times the size. And at that point in time, I started changing quite a few people's accounts, and every single account takes like 3 to 7 hours to fully swap to be decent in PvP. So, yeah, only now I kind of found a little bit of time to actually go through an entire list like this. So, let's see if we have something new. So, the patch will appear in 1.5 days. New event, Ultimate Clash, every week. We have a pinnacle, or rather, we go to the pinnacle, which is this thing right here, to participate in the Ultimate Clash. We have a ranking system. Each season lasts 7 days. When the season starts, all people on the server will be matched randomly, and all rankings will be occupied by Ultimate Defenders. So, I assume what's gonna happen is the Ultimate Defenders are bots, or whenever it starts, it's occupied by the bots or just random AI, and then we are gonna take the rankings. But all players on the server, this kind of says that this might be a server-based event, or we are just split randomly across other realms or whatever. I don't really get this particular one, but essentially this kind of can mean that if it's just on the server, pretty much this event benefits just the top people. Because if we read this right here, based on their current ranking, commanders will be matched with 4 players who have a higher ranking and 1 player who has a lower ranking below yourself. Challenging a player with a lower ranking will result in an automatic victory, but the ranking will not change. So, for example, if you are matched with 4 people who have a higher ranking than you, and then 1 player who is lower ranking below you, basically that one person will have 5 people who will be above him. So this event, I mean, can be a pretty huge, mess up for one guy. But it kind of depends on the core. Well, not the core. It depends on the strength of the accounts, because the core usually is not an indicator of an account strength. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. But I mean, I'm interested to see what kind of rewards we're getting, what kind of I guess items, rankings, whatever, perhaps mounts or so, perhaps borders. We're gonna have to see. Tickets purchased with Linari, of course, and we get free tickets every 2 hours. Well, this is fine. Attacker exchanges rankings with a defender, but will not change if the defender wins battle. We have daily rewards, which is good. Final season rewards will be delivered by mail when the games conclude, so every single week. We exchange 3 tokens. Ultimate Clash for items at the exchange will be retained after. So will be retained. So that is actually good. That is actually good. Commanders can go to learn more. So what I kind of assume is many of these Chinese games, whether AFK arena type idle games or some other random games, they have this sort of arena thing, and you battle a person and you just climb the ladder. So I assume this is like a tiny ladder sort of thing? Question mark. Like, sounds like it, but sounds a lot smaller than most other games. So I don't really know too much about it, but it's kind of interesting to see. And I mean, weekly rewards, why not? New regular quests. So this I kind of checked. So I think there are some, I guess, rewards increased a little bit. Other than that, we're gonna have a monthly sign-in thing, and that monthly sign-in thing, also has soul bits. So for the newer realms, it's gonna be a tiny bit easier to get heroes. I think it's like what, 20 more per month. People can earn, I think, what's it called, 5 per day, so 150. So it makes it 170. But if you have, I think that's like Valor 8 or 10, you're getting additionally 4 more, so that's 270. So 290. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. Pretty much a hero per month, or if you're lucky, a little bit more. Pretty decent, not gonna lie. So aside from that, let's check further. Dragon system improvements. Improve the tips where to find dragon resources. So the thing is, they have added, say, the dragon blood. They have added the dragon tears in here a long time ago, like 2-3 months ago. And only now they're adding it into the tooltips. Personally, I would think if they would add any new resources here for whatever feature or stuff like that, they should literally just add it into the tooltips of those features as well. The fact that they're doing it a few months later is, I don't even know just why bother, right? Like, the resource is becoming a lot more accessible, so the tooltips actually lose of almost any value whatsoever. It's only good when you can't really find those resources, but the more people play, they figure out where they're able to actually acquire them. So aside from that, event difficulty adjustments, this is good because this is kind of slowly stopping people who are not upgrading archer equipment, like for example archer cosmic. It's good for people who, or rather against people who are not upgrading the cosmic, the covenant, all that kind of stuff. Because of course, if people can only focus on, say, frontline and PvP and still manage to do events without archers, it's actually quite awful. Because, for example, people like myself who has invested a little bit into archers, to lose against somebody in events who doesn't even have any archers, it's kind of awful. So these changes that kind of require your archers to be decked out to win Linari, at the very least the top ranks, is always pretty decent in my eyes. I mean, for some people it might not, but it kind of forces people to upgrade archers, which is increase their core power, which is kind of, reducing that sort of egoistic behavior that, oh, I'm 20 million core, I, suppressed like 15 features, and another person is just bad at the game because he's like 7 core above me, while that person actually just focused 2 or 3 army types or whatever, opposed to just one and just trying to keep it as low as possible. So these things are always welcome, and I would kind of suggest them to actually do that to a lot more events than just these 3. So Silver Ring literature expansion. This, I mean, it's not surprising. There are many people who literally max them out, and essentially one of these is reducing resistances. I think level 10 was reducing resistances, and I think this level 11 is granting resistances after that. So I mean, I don't know how to call it out, but yeah, it's a yikes, I guess. It's I don't know. You tell me, guys. You tell me. Hero mastery adjustments. Increase the damage reduction caused by magic echo to buildings from. Wait, increase the. Wait, what is this translation? Damage reduction caused by magic echo. I think they mean increased the reduction of the damage caused by magic echo, not damage reduction. This translation is awful. From 80 to 98. Well, the thing is that 20% still meant that low core people would be able to capital top people anyway. Uh, but in other circumstances, the low core people would still be able to farm resources as well. 2% I think makes it kind of awful to even do anything right now. But you can send to capital people who are 200, 300 dual tower points above you. So whether or not this change matters, it's like very, very weak people to not be able to do that. But anything else, they can just capital people if they just cast what, two, three abilities of Avril, and that's pretty much it. Like they will just clean sweep most of the front line on the wall defense. So that's all it takes. So the changes to Clio, I mean, it's kind of late and it doesn't really matter too much. So other improvements and bug fixes. Pathways to increase power against neutral troops. Now, I don't know who will lose against this. That would be pretty funny, to be honest. Just as the effects of Theatrons out of Retribution, it no longer grants or generates any lifesteal effects. So the only lifesteal effect I know is a siphoning HP, but I guess they just redid the description, and now it's called lifesteal. Like even I guess the main name was changed. So yeah, I actually did not know that it granted lifesteal. I would have done Band of Bishop on her, though I didn't really see anyone else kind of using it. So, kind of interesting. But I don't know if it was that useful, because majority of the time, I mean, she damages entire field, so the lifesteal effect would be high, but she was dying all the time pretty quickly. So I don't know if it was that OP, you know. So fix an incorrect label, the description of size of skills after awakening. This I don't know, so I cannot really say much. Fix the incorrect range size. Now about this particular thing where it's showing incorrect range sizes, right? Of Avril, of a couple of other heroes. The thing is, the circles granted by these abilities usually are smaller than what they are. Now, I think even Blizzard one is a tiny bit smaller. The thing about that is you know their range when you have a Clash of Fate set because the stun is larger than that of the circle that you're casting, and everybody in the circle of the stun and even a tiny bit say outside of the stun, from what I've noticed in PvP, maybe just on the very, say edge of the stun, still is able to get the arcanate. So essentially, I do believe that the abilities are far bigger than that of like the circle that they show. Now, I think it was with Raxius as well, or was it Gan? Kind of forgot, but I know it was one or two more heroes that had the exact same thing. But to be honest, one of those or both of those were not really used too much, so it might not have even been Raxius. So let's see further on. Fix an issue that caused the cooldown of Kitano and Solaris active to not be reduced at the start of the battle. So what I've noticed is some of the heroes kind of cannot cast abilities from the beginning, even if you have a Sage set with -2 seconds. Now, some have description that they cannot do that. Some just don't do that. So I'm not sure if it's a bug or it's intended. Apparently now it's not intended, but I don't even know who would even cast Solaris or Kitano. So this fix for people who's using auto battle, this is probably one of the worser things, because now auto battle can cast two more abilities at the beginning. So that is pretty bad. So regardless of the fix, I mean, most people honestly have both of these skills not even leveled, but I've changed accounts that had like 50 abilities on the screen. So who knows? Who knows? Fixed an issue that caused the crit rate effect of Featherstone to become abnormal. To be honest, I only got my mages hard like a day or two ago. I have not tested it, so I don't really know whether or not this is bugged, glitched, broken, incredibly powerful, or whatever. So I cannot really say anything about this. Fixed an issue that caused descriptions of the Etherstone's Milestone Magic Stone, well, the basic 3-star ones to be incorrect. So I assume. Wait, let's give a little bit of a check. What is incorrect on them? So attack and max HP, might and attack. So what is incorrect? Stamina command. Like what is maybe base HP they wanted to swap this? Maybe? I mean, what is wrong on this? Like I don't understand. Maybe the Chinese description had something else, I guess. But I don't understand everything, and the translation kind of looks to be decent. Aside from that, fixing correct description of the artifact Malinoc Codex 3-star cooldown reduction effect. What? Let's give it a check. Ability cooldowns are lowered by 1 second. Well, this works. Like, this really works. So, its own hero ability cooldowns, like casting ability cooldowns. So, this description is okay. I don't even know what's wrong with it. Like, it's a hero bonus, right? Like, it's a hero bonus. The hero who has it equipped, ability cooldowns lowered by 1 second. So unless it's not 1 second, then yeah, they should change it. But I don't understand what's wrong with this. Like, I don't even know. Like, was the description bad for 5 years? Is that what it was? And it was granting something else? A fixed incorrect description of Prism Rapid Strike. Well, that I don't know. Maybe they buffed it to be stronger now. I don't really know. Improved descriptions of some hero equipment, improved description. Now, well, the thing is about this one, I'm honestly quite curious because with their description changes, some of the equipment might have different effects, different bonuses, perform differently, perhaps did not even have an effect as we kind of thought. So this is kind of interesting and will be checking most of my hero equipment after this patch goes live. Artifact Skyrift, so I believe this is the new artifact. I haven't really seen this name too often. If it's Palace, I'm not even using Palace. Improved skill description of Rose's Scarlet Widow skin. Well, that I don't have, so cannot say. Improve the effects of the equipment. Well, now this one is interesting. Improve the effects and descriptions of the equipment, Tectonic Great Axe and Judgment Greaves, and the Grim Fang set. Now, I wonder if they're gonna change and be like, oh, it's not 35% damage reduction, it's just like 35% chance evade or whatever. But because it says improved the effects and descriptions. So improving for them sometimes means in like changing entirely, right? So improving does not mean from 20 to 25. So it is interesting. It is interesting. So maybe these equipments will be a lot more powerful. Maybe heroes will not die in an instant from say Avril or Lee. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. So we're gonna have to wait. I'm gonna have to check on this as well, while I will be checking other hero equipment. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the patch. To be honest, as the patches go, and in comparison to a lot of the previous patches, this patch is actually decent, right? So it has a new event. It has upgrade to the quality of life of gameplay with like daily logins, monthly logins, free stuff, especially for newer people to acquire stuff quicker. It has event adjustments, which is good. It has, I guess, further upgrading new features and a couple of, say, bug fixes and things that, well, I didn't even know existed, which I guess kind of opened my eyes a little bit. But yeah, I mean, a few more updates in terms of equipment, which is also kind of welcome. Because the more they update, the more they change the equipments, all that kind of stuff. It adds a lot more variety into the game. So all of those are always welcome. But yeah, honestly, one of the very few patches that I actually kind of found decent, because most of the time the patches don't tend to be good, and more than 50% of those patch notes were useless. Now I kind of felt that when I was reading the patch notes, I was really reading the patch notes. Like I was really reading them, like updates to the game, quality of life, all that kind of stuff. Changes as well. So pretty good. Probably they learned how to do them, and that's pretty good, pretty good. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Kind of provided a little bit of my opinion, I guess, my insights, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, you guys are as well. But yeah, thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe out there.